A AAA JRPG gets delayed, a AAA JRPG gets ready to release, and tons of AAA news coming right at you on this episode of the JRPG Report. Hello and welcome, friends. It is episode 69 of the JRPG Report. My name is James Fisher, and with an intro like that, you're probably wanting me just to get right into it and ask, oh no, what exactly are we talking about? So, the one you're probably not questioning is the AAA title about to release. That is Fire Emblem Three Houses. We've got a couple little things to mention about it. But let's not waste any time. Go ahead and have a seat for this one. Better yet, fire up your favorite JRPG and do some grinding, and we'll do some talking and talk about the games that we love so much. And maybe that's why, it hurts when a game gets delayed. We look forward to these things so much as a kind of escape from reality, but we're going to wait at least about a month longer for Trails of Cold Steel 3. It has been delayed to October 22nd in North America and Europe, and our friends over in the Oceania countries will have to wait until October the 29th. Didn't really see this one coming, and of course it's not a long period of time. We're talking previously was supposed to come out on the 24th here in America, so you're talking just a touch under a month later. It's certainly not unheard of. Typically with games that are, this is not a brand new game. It's been out in Japan for quite a while, so it's a little odd that we'd get a delay over what's, basically just got to translate the game and get it published out. So maybe it's more of a publishing issue. Of course, this one is going to NIS America. We have well documented the troubles with Nippon Ichi, so perhaps it's some sort of a financial thing, kind of push this one back just a touch to, who knows? They're never gonna know why exactly. NIS America did release a standard apology that they said, quote, NIS America sincerely apologize to everyone who was greatly looking forward to its release and would like to thank fans for their understanding and patience as the team is working hard to deliver the best possible experience. Again, we're just translating the game, folks. We're not making a game here that needs fine-tuning to come out. As I'm dying to play this game, so invested in this Cold Steel saga and wanting more of it. So we'll get to wait just a little bit longer. Again, that's October 22nd. North America and Europe will get on the same day now, October 29th in the Oceania countries. So bit of a bummer news to start off the podcast, but the rest of it's relatively good. Quickly, there was one other delay, and I did see this one coming. We talked a little bit about the free-to-play fantasy RPG Caravan Stories. It was supposed to come out in North America full launch on July 23rd. The beta was actually supposed to start yesterday, but that didn't happen. And this game has now been delayed to an unannounced release date. The game is already out for PS4 in Japan, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand, but the Western release has been delayed. They say the developer asks that users wait a little longer as it makes further efforts to improve the game's quality. You're talking about a game like this. It's not unheard of for delays. I've been following them on, I think, Facebook. I thought it was either Facebook or Instagram. And I kind of thought something was up because they were posting things pretty regularly, and it kind of just stopped the closer we got to this release date and beta window. So it was one of those deals like you knew something was probably up, and we'll keep you posted on that one. This was a game I was kind of looking forward to playing with my brother, who is about an hour and a half away from me. I've got actually two half brothers, one an hour and a half in one direction and one an hour and a half in the other direction. And this was the type of game that would have been pretty cool to pick up and play with them. Of course, wouldn't cost us anything, so would have been pretty nice. But we'll have to wait a little while longer on Caravan Stories. Okay, so that's all the delays. Let's get those out and done. Let's talk about the next one, and that is Three Houses, which Fire Emblem titled the latest one in that long-running series. Will be out in just a little over a week, July 26th for the Switch. And we've talked about the past two podcasts. They've released a new trailer each week. And finally, the Golden Deer House trailer is out. Perhaps the worst name ever for a house. Who are you guys? Well, we're the Golden Deer. Oh, that doesn't exactly strike fear into your opponents. But anyway, I've got that linked over on the Facebook page if you guys want to check that out. Not to be outdone, literally every gaming website on the planet now has a we've played Fire Emblem Three Houses. Check out our video. So if you're interested in seeing more gameplay, well, just go to your favorite website that covers video games in general, be it Game Informer or GameSpot, there's GameSplain, Gaming Boulevard, IGN, Kotaku, Nintendo Life even, of course. Nintendo Life should have had theirs one a long time ago. You'd think they would have access to that. Each one of them has their own thing. I was going to link that on the page, and I was like, well, that's going to be like 10 links. Well, let's not get crazy here. So check that out if you guys are looking forward to that game. You don't have to wait too much longer, as it'll be here before you know it. Got some other quick stories to quickly hit at. Oh, that's one thing I did report last week. We were talking about the Nintendo Switch Lite, and my bad, I said the Switch was $250. It's actually $300. You would think I own one, I paid money for it, I'd remember how much the thing costs. My bad. So a full Nintendo Switch is $300, $299, right? The Nintendo Switch Lite is $199. That does make it a little bit more appealing. Like I said before, I already have one. They're not appealing to me. So my opinion doesn't matter. And honestly, it doesn't really change my opinion because it's not a product that I want. I kind of like the Switch the way it is. Now, if it was, like I said, if it had TV support, I'd be all on it because my Joy-Cons are broke. Like, you can recalibrate the controls, but on both of them, they constantly are in the up direction. So if you're playing Mario Odyssey, Mario is always walking. No matter what I do to try to fix them, it's not working. If you remember back to the N64, that C control stick, it had that same issue that it could get kind of stuck in one direction or just completely loose altogether. Kind of feels like the same problem. And Joy-Cons are crazy expensive, so kind of something I'm not crazy about having to replace. But if I want to continue to play the Switch in handheld mode, it's going to be a necessity. Luckily, I have my Pro controller, and I can play it, talk to the TV, or if I want to kickstand it, I can do it that way with the Pro. But it's a little disheartening. Anyways, that's out of the way. In speaking of Nintendo Lite announcements, there was an interview with somebody that is Level 5's official virtual YouTuber, Denoje Vito. And she confirmed, or at least was saying that, she said, quote, "On the day Nintendo Switch Lite releases, you'll be able to play Ni no Kuni on your Switch. And later on, the first Yokai Watch is also coming out. So we would be grateful for your support. So level 5 is not confirmed this yet, but it certainly appears that they are working on Yokai Watch 1 that came out for the Switch. This one came out back in July 2013 for the 3DS. So unofficially saying that this one was coming out, with part 4 coming out soon, it kind of just makes sense that we're probably going to see all these games eventually make their way to the Nintendo Switch. It would not be shocking at all. In other Nintendo Switch news, there is a new model coming out. No, not the one you thought it would be, but they have announced an updated version of the original Switch model with updated battery life. Applause for that. Original models would run anywhere from 2.5 to 6.5 hours, just depending on how involved the gameplay was, how much it really made it work. You play a game like Breath of the Wild, it was getting you about 3 hours in handheld mode before it died. I noticed when I was playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it was definitely more than that, but I wouldn't say it was above 4 hours before it started beeping at you pretty well to give it a charge. Now, this updated one claims it'll be about 4.5 to 9 hours. So, on the low end, about double. On the high end, a pretty good improvement, to say the least. They say, for example, when playing Breath of the Wild, you're now closer to about 5.5 hours from a full charge to depleted on this new model. The new model will go on sale in late August in Japan and early September in Europe. The release date for North America has yet to be announced. I'm thinking that's going to happen. So this will replace the old Switch model. It's not like it's a different price point for this new battery. It's just an improved thing, and kudos for them for doing that. Let's take just a quick pause right here for a word from our sponsor, Anchor, and we'll be right back with more news and notes on the JRPG Report. A couple of quick stories to tell you guys about, and these are stories that'll basically have to be told through the trailer, so I've linked all these on the Facebook page, so if you want to check them out, you can. There is a new Code Vein trailer, and this one's called Invading Executioner. It's the latest character boss to be revealed, and they say this one's a fluid fighting foe to be taken quite seriously. So check that out if you're interested in Code Vein news and notes before its September release. The new Tales of Crestoria, that's a mobile game now. They had a kind of a new skit that came out at the Anime Expo, kind of saying, hey, this game is coming out in America. Wasn't previously announced that would do that, but in this skit between the main characters of Kanata and Masella, they discussed a smartphone game coming to America and what it takes to win over Western players. So I've got that trailer skit linked on the Facebook page as well. Atelier Ryza news, as we get every week. This is not really news, at least, but they oddly, perhaps oddly, but I guess we're going to get something every week until this game comes out. In October, they have released the theme song trailer. So if you are so inclined to check out the theme song Rainbow Summer, as sung by Sayaka Kanta, you can check that out as well on the Facebook page. I believe that's all the major things to kind of point you in that direction. We talked about last week the Dragon Quest IX 10th anniversary live stream that happened back on July 11th. And here are some of the highlights from that. We didn't say that there would be any announcements made, and there was no announcement to be made, but they had everybody kind of there in one place, including the Level 5 president Akihiro Hino, and so why not? They talked about Dragon Quest IX getting a remake, as is the MO with every game ever made now. You must remake it. So they would certainly not commit to anything, but it certainly seems like everybody is on board with a remake. They even asked what they would like to see, and replied a Dragon Quest IX remake with Dragon Quest XI level graphics would be amazing. So when you're thinking about this title that came out on the 3DS, you would have to imagine this is going to be a Switch game. And while nothing was nailed down, they kind of talked about it would take about a year to do such a thing. So if you are a fan of Dragon Quest IX, as I was, we talked about before, not blown away, but a remake of it done well, adding some elements to it at the right price point, I could be interested in playing it again. We'll just have to wait and see if that is indeed going to happen or not. So I misspoke. There is one more thing that you'll have to go check out on the Facebook page that I can't really talk about because it's a video. It is the latest in Square Enix's series of Inside Final Fantasy Development Diaries. This one focuses on Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. They feature full video interviews with director Katano and producer Kato. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. Those are pretty cool, kind of giving an insight into some of our favorite games in this series. We talked last week also about the Conception Plus Maidens of the 12th Star remake that's coming out here at some point, and PS4's censorship ban has struck again. Not surprisingly, as this game has some risque elements to it, but they say that during the classmating ritual, the Star Maidens 3D models will appear as blue and purple rather than flesh-colored, and will not have detailed facial features. The animation itself is identical. So the PS4 version will have this, the PC version will not. I'm not going to get too much more into that. I'm not a huge fan of censorship. I understand there's a need for some things, but in my mind, if you have to censor something, it probably shouldn't come out. That's just my opinion. That if it is objectionable enough, then it probably shouldn't have been released in the first place. So I don't know why the big push by PlayStation to do this to their titles, but it's just a fact of life. So just one of those things. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Talking about an old game getting another re-release, that is Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition Complete, will launch on July 30th. Both physically and digitally for PS4 and Switch on July 30th, the company announced. This will include Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition and all previous release downloadable content. It will be $29.99. If you're a Harvest Moon fan, you can get your fix on here not too much longer, just a few more days on July the 30th. Dragon Quest XI news. They are gearing up for Dragon Quest Summer Festival 2019. This will take place on August the 3rd. We'll probably have more things to talk about once that happens, Dragon Quest related. But it appears that Dragon Quest XI's Eric is getting some special treatment. He's already getting a one-shot manga in Japan, but it appears that he's going to have something more. Now, this is nothing concrete. This is kind of speculation from V-Jump. But if you know anything about the Dragon Quest Monsters line, it certainly appeared that the new title in it featured a young Eric and Mia as the lead characters. They were not said to be that. They were just introduced as a certain boy and girl, but they bear more than a passing resemblance to Eric and Mia, and would kind of make sense. So we'll see if that is officially announced at the Dragon Quest Summer Festival 2019. Again, that's happening on on August the 3rd. October would not be summer. That'd be a little weird. In our Only in Japan segment of the week, we're getting the game Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Infinite Combat game. It is coming out for PS4, Switch, Vita, and PC in Japan on November the 23rd. We knew already about, well, I guess some people knew about the PS4 and Vita versions. The Switch and PC versions are newly announced. If you are still inclined to want to play this title, you can import it because it'll have English, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese subtitles. Yeah. Don't know a whole lot about this game series, but with a title like that, it can only be from Japan. One minor thing, and it's interesting. Nothing our way yet, but the mobile version of Legend of Heroes Akatsuki no Kaseki Mobile is coming to the Switch this summer in Japan. Developer User Joy Japan announced. And this is an online story RPG first launched for the PC and later released for Vita and PS4 over there. The mobile version of it, the regular version was that. And now there's the mobile version that came out. It's coming out now as an Android. And it will also be out for the Switch. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting that we're getting all this Legend of Heroes trails of this and that, Crossbell, and now this mobile thing starting to come out on consoles, and that's certainly a good thing. We'll wait and see. I doubt this one makes its way westward, at least not right away. We will have to wait and see a little bit more on that, and if it gets a Western name or not, what they're going to call that one. Don't forget, head over to the Facebook page, give us a like on there. Big shout out to our newest likes of the week. We had Stephanie, Sandip, and Steven all giving us a fresh like this week. Do appreciate that, as always. That's the easiest way to keep up with everything going on in the JRPG world that we talk about here, and has a video or ways to connect with our community. I want to talk for just a minute about mobile games. This is what we're going to call a quick mobile minute. First, I did, when I was scaring on the iPad the other day, I did see that Battle Chasers Night War is coming out on iOS, I think at the 1st of August, and I'm pretty sure it's only going to be $10. So if you've not played this game either on the PS4 or on the Switch, and you're looking for a on-the-go option, check it out. I mean, that's not a huge commitment, and it's a really awesome game. I think that could actually do okay on mobile devices if they don't switch it up too much. I've been playing a really interesting little time suck of a game. It's called AFK Arena, and it's got a really awesome art style to it, and it's completely free. You don't spend any money. I am certainly the type of person that I'm not going to pay any type of money for a mobile game, but I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of this one. This one's, I guess they call it an idle RPG. To the, every 12 hours you can check in, but during that time your characters are automatically fighting battles. Then when you check in, you kind of collect all their experience, and they usually level up every once or twice a day. At least at my initial levels, I'm sure. The further you get into it, the more difficult that would be. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's just a good way to pass, a few minutes at the end of the day when you're not doing much else, kind of winding down. So I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something kind of new and fun, and it's not going to cost you much. I am, of course, dismayed by Trails of Cold Steel 3 getting delayed, but I'm still plodding through part 2. You can keep up with that on our nearly nightly live streams on the JRPG Report YouTube page. You can follow me on PlayStation. Username is The Last Remaining. That's all one word. And we can be friends, and you can see what I'm streaming and get on there if you would be so inclined. But of course, you can just search for it later on. You don't have to be there when I live stream it. I'd appreciate your subscription over there as well. I'm at that point, and I don't know if you guys get to it from time to time with the games that you're playing. I'm loving every minute of Cold Steel 2. Don't get me wrong. I guess I don't know. I kind of wish that I get it over with. I've played it before. This is the remaster of it, right? And, sometimes when you're playing these games, you kind of just want something new. And I can't wait for part 3. I really want to dive into the newness. And I guess things are just a little bit busy in my personal life as well. It's going to sound bad, but when you get to the end of the day and you're tired, sometimes you don't want to sit down and just play a game. You kind of just want to go to bed and get the day over with. But I'm getting through it, and I still love this game and this franchise. I'm kind of in a lull, and I want to play something new and a little bit different. But we'll get there, and we'll be playing part 3 before we know it. So there was one more thing that I really want to talk about, and I didn't even I actually did not see this on any websites. I came across it on YouTube. Awesome YouTuber. His name is JRPG. I mean, completely the best YouTube name of all time for the genre. And he kind of talked about it for a few minutes, and it was an interview in Dengeki Online Magazine with about the new Tales of Arise game. It is with series producer Tamizawa, and this was back at Tales Fest. I don't know how this didn't make news. It really makes no sense, and this is a long interview. I've been trying to link this on Facebook, and Facebook has said no a couple times, and nothing that we haven't already talked about. So I guess maybe that's what it was. Maybe we got segments of it come out, but I really wanted to talk about he talked about something very interesting. And so, okay, he said, the interviewer asked him, it said, it looks like you can go pretty far into the distance there. Some are wondering if this means the game is open world. What's the game's structure like? His reply is, it's not open world. You explore each map and sometimes enter dungeons like traditional RPG. We do want to feel like an open world. We've made the environments so that you can feel like the world is huge and built into the design. We did try to make large maps during development. In the game, there are vistas that make you wonder when you'll reach something in the distance. The other thing in this game is we've tried to have difference in elevation in our environments. The interviewer says, I remember climbing up to reach a treasure chest. He's like, it's not going to be like that kind of one-trick design. There are also fields that look like in the illustration. The illustration was showing the one where they're on the planet, they can see... they are on Rena, and they can see Donna in the distance, and it's certainly, like I said, it looks like that. He says, The interviewer asks, so you look up and feel how large the world is? He says that, and also there's a castle in the background. Can you get there, he asks. We think that kind of discovery and wonder made possible by Fields is very important. Tales has always held that as important, but now we can make richer, more immersive fields that give players that sense of never before. We're putting a lot of effort into that this time. Some have taken that mean that battles in this game are not encounter-based. Is that true? He says they are extremely encounter-based and laughs. The preview video probably gave some people some doubts, but the game has encounters. We tried various approaches, but between designing the fields to work well and making the Tales party combat fun, they really didn't mesh well. Ultimately, players wanted to enjoy both, so we used encounters. That's great news. Absolutely fabulous. This is the type of things that we've been kind of waiting and had a lot of questions for, and I'm so glad that somebody finally is talking about it. He says, we're preserving the traditional Tales quality while creating a unique sense of freshness and mastery. Tales' selling point has been its action-based combat, so we're taking a page from action games. We're designing the battle system for players to really feel like they're making decisions in real time based on their situation and choosing their own responses. The enemies are more intimidating and the effects are flashier, but the traditional quality is still there. Players on auto can enjoy auto, and players who want to master the system can feel like they're adapting in real time. I think it looks great. He says, you were the producer on action games like God Eater and Code Vein. Are you applying that experience to combat here? Like I said before, he answers, it's mostly about that responsive battle idea. For instance, we don't want to be the kind of combat where a gauge goes up based on events in combat, so you fight while watching the gauge. We want the players to look at what the enemy is and what they're doing, how they're attacking, and choosing how to respond out of all their options. And that results in landing a satisfying combo. Responding to the situation, as I see, is a major part of action games and fundamental to the satisfying feels. Interview asks, but the battles are party-based, right? Yes, he says. You saw Alphen and Shion in the preview video, but there are more characters. The interviewer says, you can't have Tales without animated cutscenes and opening song and skits. Will we see those? He answers, we have been talking about when and how to use animated cutscenes since the start. UFA Table is doing the animation for the game, and I think you'll get what you want from them. On the other hand, we hope from the preview video that you saw how far our 3D rendering has advanced. We're expecting the quality and expressiveness of 3D to change the game's relationship with animation a bit. We've been talking about what the most appropriate place is to use which type of cutscene from the beginning of development, worrying if this is a place for evolution or change. But we will not remove animation altogether. That's a tradition we're keeping. So that's definitely some good news. I will scour through this one and see if there's anything else we can talk about, perhaps in the next podcast. Like I said, it is a long interview, and I don't want to spend forever just talking about this interview. I'll try to... I can't read the whole thing. That would be completely boring. So I will see if I can't find anything, and we'll talk about that next time. I think that's going to do it for episode 69. Thank you so much for tuning in to the podcast. Don't forget, this is completely clean. We want everyone to be able to enjoy this, and we want this to be the very best weekly JRPG podcast out there. So we'd appreciate you going on to your favorite place of listening, especially if you're on iTunes, because those reviews matter so much. Give us a rating and a quick comment so more people can enjoy it. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, all that fun stuff. I will truly appreciate it. For the JRPG Report, my name is James Fisher. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We'll see you again next week, but until next time, get back out there and level up.